can go.
Listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole. Welcome, welcome to our Baltimore Ravens Bowie TV Urban Sports Scene preview show. Joining me is Bowie TV's Ravens beat reporter. Excuse me, I can't speak. Carita Parks. What is going on? And also, Carita is also founder of Double Take Sports. What's going on, Carita?
Just getting ready for preseason game number 2.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Like I said earlier, it's almost over because September's right around the corner.
I mean, the next game is next week, and then oh my gosh,
like
season starts the week after.
Mm-hmm. Are you prepared for the season though? You already geared up mentally? Are you mentally prepared for it?
I don't know if you can mentally be prepared. It feels like it just always, it's coming, but it's like once it starts, it's like it's
there.
Takes off.
I know. I can only imagine. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's the excitement, but also again, like you're just getting situated, like knowing that you're gonna be dealing with real football. You get worried about like now developing real content. I mean, true content in terms of football season, and also like just the questions, like the storylines. There's so much going on.
I know it's
crazy.
I mean, they practice now, but I'm just saying
it's a different level. Yeah. It's a different level. Before we talk about preview the Ravens upcoming game, you can check us out at the Urban Sports Scene at www.urbansportscene.com. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV YouTube channels. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support the show, and the super chats will be prioritized over all comments. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports, and also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. You can also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene Sports Blog with sports podcasters and sports debates. Also, I had something in my ear. Now I'm good. Like I had another podcast being played in my ear at the same time. That's wild stuff. All right. Anyway, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Carita will talk about the Ravens upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys, which was happening Saturday night. Carita, let's get right into it. Before we get into the actual game, Carita always has like an awesome rundown of everything about what she saw in practice on Wednesday. So we want to make sure we play that. So let's play that real quick.
This is Carita Parks with Bowie TV. It's the last day of training camp with fans for the Baltimore Ravens, and also the last day of full practice. Tomorrow they will have a walkthrough. Then they will travel to Dallas for their second preseason game. Coach Harbaugh called this a week of improvement. As far as practice is concerned, I didn't really think it was the sharpest day for the quarterbacks, but things did heat up a little bit later in practice. Lamar Jackson, he hit Rashad Bateman deep in the end zone, and that was probably one of his best throws of the day. I just want to note also DeAndre Hopkins, he did not practice today, so we did see some guys get more reps like Tez Walker. Him and Lamar connected twice on some really good passes. And also he had a pass across the middle to Dayton Wade that landed pretty well. Also, Cooper Rush, we talked to him post-practice. Coach Harbaugh expects him to get more reps this week. We only saw a little bit of him last week, so it'll be good to see what he's able to do with more time. Rush talked about how he is getting used to this Ravens offense.
Yeah, it was a lot of new. But really starting to feel comfortable, starting to own it, starting to be feel like you're in command out there of what's going on. All the reps and OTAs were huge, getting to run the show, and just continuing those in camp and kind of run through the installs again have been big, and every day it's getting more and more comfortable.
The running backs also look good in practice, and as you saw in the first preseason game, Keaton Mitchell looks like he is ready to go. We talked to Coach Willie Taggart, who is the running backs coach and assistant coach for the Ravens, and he said Keaton Mitchell is looking like himself again, which, like I said, I think we're all starting to see that. Then you have Derrick Henry, who is just Derrick Henry, and Justice Hill. He's coming in to this year after his extension last year with an increased role, and he knows his role. He's comfortable with that. Coach Taggart said that he is the ultimate teammate and credited him with bringing Derrick Henry along last season.
We talked to Justice in a few minutes. Just what ways have you seen him evolve?
Oh, man. First of all, I told you all before, I call him the junkyard dog because he does everything for us, and he does it at an elite level, but Justice knows his role and he plays his role to the best of his ability. He's been great, not just as a player, but as a teammate and bringing other guys along. I think he helped Derrick adjust last year. When he came into a new team, and Justice was right there with him. I personally say he was a big part of helping Derrick with his success and integrating with the team. Justin he's what you're looking for in a football player, a teammate and all. He's a heck of a football player. You saw last year, just when he got the ball, he made the best of the opportunity when they come. And that's what you want from guys. When that opportunity comes, you step up and take advantage of it. And Justice does that every single day. He takes pride. And that guy coming to work every day with a smile on his face. And that's it every day. And it's great to be around.
I asked Justice how he contributed to bringing Derrick Henry along. And he said basically he was just himself and he couldn't really pinpoint anything in particular that he did.
Speaking of Derrick, Coach Taggart was just saying that you helped bring Derrick along when he came on the team last season. In what ways did you do that, and how did that strengthen your relationship as teammate?
I don't know. I think I just be myself. I wasn't trying to point. I really can't point out anything. I'm just like, oh, I brought him along, did something. But I just be myself, and he's being himself, and we just have fun out here. We try not to get too serious. Obviously it's a business at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it is a game too. So just try to have fun and just remind each other that.
Just a few other additional notes. Defensively, I won't say that they were dominant today. However, they did make some nice plays, particularly TJ Tampa. He picked off a pass from Cooper Rush, and I thought that was a pretty good rep from him. Also, Tyler Loop, he was 7 for 9 today on kicks. So he continues to be up and down, but we will get a better look at him again in the Ravens' next preseason game this weekend. That's been your Ravens Rundown. This is Carita Parks. Be sure to follow us for all of your Ravens content at Bowie TV Sports.
Great work as always, Carita. Great work as always. All right, so Carita, you mentioned on the rundown that you don't see Lamar Jackson playing. Well, you mentioned prior to me on a prior show that you don't see Lamar Jackson playing in Saturday's preseason game, and you also mentioned that all the quarterbacks didn't look like the best. That wasn't their best outing out. They weren't having their best performances out there when you saw them. Nothing to be scared about, but they didn't have their best. Weren't playing at their best. Do you feel like it would be good for Lamar to get a couple reps against the Cowboys, in your opinion? If not, you've seen Lamar enough. You know pretty much what he's capable of doing. And they've been going this route for the last few seasons. But I just want to know your opinion.
Well, so as far as practice is concerned, I didn't feel like the quarterbacks were the sharpest.
The sharpest, I guess the term is really sharpest. Yeah.
I won't say because Lamar, he warmed up as time went on.
Yeah, gotcha.
But it took some time. And then once he warmed up, he had some really good passes, like him and Rashad Bateman. Their connection was really good on Friday. So, or shoot, whatever.
Wednesday.
The days just
no, I told you you be working. That's keep it being. You be working. Don't worry about it. Go ahead though.
It's like Friday because they're traveling. But anyway, so as far as Lamar getting preseason reps, it's a catch-22 because if he got preseason reps, would he even be playing against the ones for the other team?
True.
Which for that case, he could just continue what he's doing,
True.
in practice. So there's that. But then also, you just don't want to take the chance of Lamar Jackson getting hurt in a preseason game of all the games to get hurt in. So I do definitely think when they start playing in that first game and they just kind of that's their first game, first competition, it is a little rusty at first because that's their first game. They did not play in the preseason. Yes, they were practicing, but execution in a game is a completely different story. So we'll probably see a little bit of the rust needing to be knocked off. They don't have too much time to have to do that playing the Bills.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that they should chance Lamar getting reps in the preseason just because you don't want anything to happen.
And you told me earlier.
Caliber.
Yeah.
Team that's playoff caliber at the very least.
I got you.
Super Bowl caliber. The last thing you need is for your quarterback to go down.
Don't she? She does a great job, don't she?
Thank you.
Don't she? She does an excellent job. I need will anybody else I know you said this before, it's the starters in general.
The starters are not playing. Coach
all the starters are playing.
Confirmed that on Wednesday. He said same guys who did not play last week, which was the starters, are not going to play this week.
Oh, okay. I refresh my mind because I'm trying to remember because it was obviously last year was last year. Did they start rusty last year? Did they start fast? How did it happen for them last year?
Last year they had an 0-2 start, but that was a little rare. That wasn't.
Yeah,
that wasn't the preseason. I'm trying to think about the year before that.
That Kansas City, right? That Kansas City play, right? That was last year too, right? But likely caught the ball in the back of the end zone, had the 1 foot in. That was the same. Okay, all right. That was okay. Got
and truth be told, they didn't. There was a little bit. I think the first couple series were a little off.
Yeah.
But overall, they didn't look too rusty. They on Kansas City's throat. So I think it just takes a minute to get the flow going. And
only reason why I ask that because it depends. Obviously, a lot of teams do it differently. The Bengals, because they started slow. Now they're playing their starters in the preseason because they're kind of sick of starting slow. So I just wonder because like you said, they've been doing this for a while, right? And it hasn't really hindered them in terms of the totality of the season. Yeah. So I'm just curious to know how do they normally start? And you're right, you reminded me last year, the Kansas City game was kind of rough. I didn't know they started 0-2. I didn't know that, but I knew the Kansas City game.
They had that 0-2 start last year, so they kind of had to catch up, and they did.
Yeah, no, they played great. They played great football.
But that 0-2 start was a little rough. It was 0-2 or 0-3. I think it was 0-2 though.
I think it was 0-2.
Either way, it was a little rough for them. Hi, Heather.
Mike
Thanks
Green,
for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Heather. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Mike Green. Definitely, he's definitely on my list. Mike Green is one of my favorite.
Mike Green is a favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite, not just Ravens players, but definitely rookies. In this, they came out of this draft. All right, so Carita, in terms of from what you've seen in training camp this week, how would you describe the overall energy and focus of the team?
I would say this week they had 2 practices, which Coach Harbaugh considered mental practices. So they were not as fast paced. The practice on Wednesday was more fast paced. My understanding is today they did a walkthrough before they traveled. So I think it's about right now. I think it's about making sure that that they're getting the fundamentals down, the plays down, those kind of things. you're still in that portion where some of those guys won't be there when the season starts. So, but I would say this week, and Coach Harbaugh, he did say that in his words that he considered this an improvement week. So I think it was more so like working on things and building on things that they need to get better at, especially penalties, because we're seeing even in practice days where there's a lot of penalties, and they got to get that cleaned up before the season starts.
You talked about after the preseason game about how you were not happy with the quarterback play. Did he address that this week?
It's been a topic that
the backup quarterback play. The backup quarterback play.
I will say this, what's been a topic has been less about the actual quarterbacks themselves and more about, hey, we only have 59 passing yards, which is obviously the quarterback issue.
Good play on words, definitely.
But, Todd Monken did say they got to play to get better all around, though. So he didn't really just blame it on the quarterbacks. He was like, we got to play better with offensive line and just every piece of the offense. So, but in regards to your question, I do know that Cooper Rush will get more reps this preseason game. So I think that that'll be good because I would like to see what he does. I think I mentioned that in my rundown. I want to see what he does with more time.
Yeah, I do. I think he'll be better in his second showing. I do.
I hope so.
Because again, he's got his body of work, what he's done in the past as a backup. And I feel like for a backup, he's probably one of the better backups in the NFL because of what he's done when forced to start. Right, he's won some big games. So, and that's what you want in your backup. You want a guy who you.
That's all I'm saying. All you want is someone that can keep things going. They don't have to be an all-star at all.
Agreed.
They just need to be able to keep the ball rolling.
And the thing about folks in terms of his play have to pump their brakes a little bit is because that chances are, if God forbid Lamar goes down, you still got Derrick Henry, right, to lean on. So it's not like you're going to rely on. You have to rely on Cooper Rush. Like there is an individual and it's not like he has Derrick Henry in the preseason. You can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. He can make life easy for you. Then you can use play action, short yardage plays. You just have to complete a couple of easy passes. So there's a lot. It's preseason. You don't get you don't get all the weapons. He's not getting all those guys. He's not getting Zay. He's not getting Bateman. He's not getting Likely. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying.
Reception. So
true.
Your first pass out the box. But to be fair, he is learning a new system too.
That too.
That is something to definitely consider. Is that it's a learning curve for him. The Ravens play a little differently. He talked the other day. He said there's been a lot of new things to learn.
Yeah.
But he's excited to learn it. And like you said, I was watching the Ravens game over again, and they talked about Cooper Rush's record as a backup being 9-5.
Not bad, which is good. And you know what? I'm tripping. Like the storyline, he's going back to Dallas, and he talk about that. Like I'm tripping.
It came up. He definitely downplayed it. He was like, it'll be weird to go back on a different team, but he was like, people asked him like, do you want to show them that you're doing well? And he was kind of like, I want to show the current team I'm on that I'm doing well. So
that's a good
he
way
definitely downplayed the Dallas aspect, but it came up for sure.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even think about it till now. He's going back to Dallas. He spent all of his years. He's used to certain players, used to that play. It's a different playbook now because the coach that he was playing under was fired anyway. So, but yeah, definitely, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see his emotions playing against his former team. Granted, it's preseason, but still, there's still got to be some.
Very even keeled from what I was able to gather. That was our first time talking to him actually since he's been in Baltimore.
Oh, really? Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So, I didn't really have a sense of his personality, but from what I could tell, he seems like a pretty even keeled guy. I say that to say if he has emotions, I don't know that we'll see it. He seems like someone who's able to keep it like that.
Yeah, he's trying to bottle it in. You could tell by the first. You'll tell by the first throw. if it's too,
right, or a couple or a touchdown or some completion.
Yeah,
like
yeah. If there's two ways. It's either his first throw. If his first throw is high, that means he's overly geeked. and if he throws a touchdown, like you said, pass or throws a deep bomb and or whatever, and you know obviously he's feeling real good about himself. That this meant a lot to him. You know what I mean? So, TO Fitness says the Cowboys should come with a disclaimer for entertainment purposes only. Them boys don't care about winning. Let's go, Flock. Of course, bro. They don't care about winning. I mean, we agree there about them Cowboys. I tell you, we definitely agree there.
Purposes only.
We definitely agree there. Because the Cowboys are a team that I hate with a passion. All right, so Carita, are there any matchups you're particularly excited with? Maybe like the Cowboys offense versus the Ravens defense, or vice versa. Special teams, any like matchup you're excited about?
Yeah, for me, I would say I want to see the Ravens offensive line against the Cowboys defensive line because the offensive line, they're looking for depth. And so I feel because I am not in the press box and I'll be watching the game on TV, I think I'll be able to hone in on them a little more. So I want to see, how I do think a couple of the starters from the offensive line played last week, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Somebody's.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of want to see how they continue to progress, especially Daniel Falalele. And then the backup offensive line, I want to see, what they're able to do because, like I said, there's some, they just need depth on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's a matchup. It's not necessarily the matchup, but I do want to see more from the Ravens wide receivers this week outside of, your
stars, your guys who ain't playing. Yeah.
I want to see what some of the rest of them are able to do. And we didn't get to see a lot, I don't feel like, of that in the last preseason game.
Yeah, because of quarterback play. I said it. Don't worry. I said it. Don't worry about that. I said it. But I'm with you with the offensive line. I think it's going to be I like that matchup. The Ravens offensive line against the Cowboys defensive line. Don't know that the Cowboys are playing starters or not. Didn't pay attention to.
I'm not sure either. Actually,
okay, I'm not sure.
Actually, that's something I probably should.
No, I mean, folks. I
should check because I would want to know who the Ravens are playing against.
Yeah, so I would say I'm not sure, but I would say that they do got rookies and one just like the Ravens have Mike Green, which I would love to see against the Cowboys themselves as a matchup, but they got to go against the Ravens offensive line has to go against a good young and up and coming rookie defense end and an edge rusher and Donovan Azaraku out of Boston College who plays for the Cowboys. I think that would be a good matchup just to test themselves as O-linemen because that guy is pretty fast off the edge. He's an actual pass rusher coming out of college, so I do think that's a good test for this Ravens offensive line just to see where they're at. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Micah Parsons is going to play. I doubt Mike is playing.
Aren't they still doing?
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah, he's playing. And so, I feel like it took just to get tested, in terms of a young guy with talent who was like the traditional defensive, the traditional edge rusher with versatility and speed off the edge. I think it's a good test. It'll be a good test for them. So I agree with you. That offensive line being tested against the Dallas Cowboys defensive front, I think that's a matchup I want to see. And obviously, you want to see the young boys, so it's a matchup about that Ravens defense in general against the Cowboys offense. You took Mike Green, like Heather mentioned, Mike Green.
Right. Sure, everybody wants to see Mike Green, and the defensive line did well last week, so I think it'll be interesting to see can they continue that.
I agree with you. And then I want to see Starks. I want to see what he continues to look good. I just think that you want to see those young pups play because I think they have a lot of potential, how they can help this defense down the road. And I'm biased. I want to see my Nigerian brother, you know what I'm saying? Ojabo, you know what I'm saying? I want to say Ojabo, you know what I'm saying? Continue to build on what he has to continue to build on what he did in the first preseason game. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the Ravens have
and even special teams. I mean,
yeah.
Leonte Wester did well last week. But I'm sure they're still going to be testing other guys to see what they're capable of doing. And then it'll also be interesting to one thing when I talked to Leonte, he said he wants to continue to improve and he wants to show that he can do it again and it wasn't just a fluke. So we'll see.
You got a question, Carita? I'll let you take care of this. Falale or Ben Cleveland at right guard. I prefer Cleveland over Falale. Falale. I'm saying it right. Falale. Am I saying it correctly?
Falalele.
Falalele. Thank you. Falalele.
It took me a while. Sometimes I just didn't even want to say his last name.
Falalele.
It's one of those. But to answer your question, I still feel fairly confident that it's going to be Daniel Falalele. I just don't think that they see Ben Cleveland as a starter. And John Harbaugh, when he is asked about Falalele and even Todd Monken, they come to his defense. They believe in him. They believe in what he can do and what he's capable of doing. So I think that Falalele will just have to be a complete fail for them to put Ben Cleveland ahead of him, to be honest.
Hey, Heather, thank you. I appreciate you too as well.
And I know that, the fans, they have a kind of love-hate type relationship when it comes to Falalele in that spot, but I think they from all that I can tell, they still believe in his capabilities. And then bring back Snoop at QB3.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, I do feel Devin Leary could be in potential. Could be what do you want to call it?
Practice squad.
Players on the bubble.
On the bubble, okay.
Because I think one thing we do see and I'm just going to focus on the backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
See in practice, they do connect. They do make completions. It was just that game. And Cooper Rush didn't play long, so I can't really. Yeah. I'm only going off a very small sample size when it comes to. But Devin Leary played 80% of that game, and I mean, even Coach Harbaugh mentioned being a little surprised at how difficult it was for him to move the ball because of what he does in practice. So,
Heather, appreciate you. Heather, you rock. LeJohntay was one of my favorites at Colorado.
Yeah, he has a lot of he's got a lot of followers and a lot of support.
That's what's up.
A lot of people, he is loved. He's especially, there's a lot of Colorado people that are people who follow Colorado that responded to the interview, and people are rooting for him big time.
Why wouldn't they, man? That was a great interview. I'm not gonna be redundant. It was a great, like I said, it was a great interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great interview. You know what I mean?
If you are watching today and you are not aware of my Leonte Wester one-on-one, we talked for about 10 minutes. You can find it on the Bowie TV YouTube page. It's a great interview.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I was the interviewer. I mean, his responses were really good. So I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't.
Look, I didn't conduct the interview, and I'm just gonna keep it a beam. It was a great interview. It was an awesome interview. So I co-sign that. Definitely go check it out. It's actually one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite interviews this season. Just looking at the scope of things. I like realness. So anybody who knows me, I just like realness. And there's a lot of stuff that I felt like when people open up and kind of express themselves and pretty much make themselves vulnerable, because I feel like that's what he did. I think for me, that's where I appreciate stuff like that. You did a great job. You did a great job with that.
Thank you.
All right. So, obviously, you talked about the kicker. I'm gonna keep asking you about the kicker. You say how he looked all right in practice. What's the temperature with that? Like, was that something you want to see too? Just him continuing what you've seen in practice.
I think I'll be watching him all season.
I know everybody is. I know.
There, because that's one of the newest, but also one of the most important positions this season. But yeah, I want to see him make all of his kicks in the game.
She's dope. That's Heather. You're dope. You're dope.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely going to be watching Tyler Loop. He went 7 for 9 in the last practice, and so I think the biggest thing with him is not his capabilities. He's clearly capable, and he's shown that. It's more so going to be consistency, consistency, I would say. So
going into this game, what kind of message is Coach Harbaugh sharing with this team? Is it just like this practice is? I mean, they look better. They'll be better. Like, what's the messaging going into this game against Dallas?
I don't remember him really having a message. It's still the preseason, but I'm assuming his message, just based off of what he talked about, is improving and building last week. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And he talked a lot about, like, it was only brought up in the perspective of the receivers, but I'm sure that this is his perspective on everything, but just honing in on those little details and those fundamental things is something that's important to him as well.
For you, I know we ask this almost every week, but who do you feel like needs to help themselves even more in this game? Like, we ask this question every week, so I know it's the preseason, and that's like the question I ask. But who needs it in preseason game number 2?
There's probably someone else, but just the first person that popped in my mind is David Ajabo. Okay, because there's a lot of competition at that position now, and I think he needs to show that he can do it again. So
that's fair, definitely.
And I'm sure there's others. That's just that was just who popped into my mind.
No, that's fair. DeAndre Hopkins won't play, right? Jeez. Okay. This is up. Is he a starter? I'm curious. Is he a starter? He's a third receiver, right?
Well, yeah, he's a third receiver. And the way Coach Monken talks is like with DeAndre Hopkins being in the mix, they'll be able to do more like 3 receiver sets, things like that. So gotcha. I think he's going to be a pretty significant part of the offense.
Oh, I can't wait to see him and Lamar together. I've always been a D-Hop supporter.
I just want to say this. It's very interesting because, you see these guys and you don't know that you're going to end up covering them. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, he's fascinating to me. He's a quiet, focused guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he is a worker. Like, you see him like talking to his teammates, so to speak. You see him talking to his teammates and interacting with his teammates, but he's just got a very like focused demeanor. It's interesting to me because it's like, yeah, that's why he's probably been like, I know he's had injuries and that has hurt him, but I feel like that's probably why he's been like still so successful in his career.
I hope he's healthy. I feel like if he's healthy, I feel like he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be a really good addition.
He seems healthy in practice. He doesn't like. There's times he doesn't practice, but I don't think it's because, like, for example, he did not practice on Sunday, but he still talked to the media. So I think it's more so just managing. Like they try to manage everybody during training camp. So I think it's more of that. But I say all that to say he's one of the guys who has practiced pretty consistently. I haven't seen anything that gives me pause about. But you never know, like when the season starts, it's a whole different ball game because you getting hit differently and all kinds of stuff. So
a little different when the season starts.
Yeah.
A little different.
We'll see at that point.
Heather says Keaton looked good. I love our running back room.
Yeah, the running back room is. I mean, it's funny because we haven't. But I would say we haven't talked much about running back because we really don't have to, except for the fact that Keaton Mitchell is looking like himself and he's healthy. But outside of that,
You don't have to look at
that running back room is so solid. There's not too much you gotta say about that.
Yeah, and it's versatile too. You got Derrick Henry, who's just who'll beat you into submission, and you got Hill that can just you could just take one to the house. He can catch the ball out the backfield, to scat back. It's a very versatile running back room. I totally agree. It's one of the better running back rooms in the NFL. Heather said Bullock would make sense as backup center for Linderbaum.
He's on his way. It's looking like that so far. To be honest, it's looking like he is on his way to backing up Linderbaum.
She has
Corey Bullock.
Okay, and Heather has a question for you, Carita. Says, what are the coaches saying about Higgins?
Higgins.
This is which Higgins? Is that T? Let me see.
Wait. Heather, I don't know. Higgins is not coming to my mind.
Higgins.
What's his first name?
Yeah. Let's see. Higgins. Is that the receiver? Not T. Higgins.
It's not T. Higgins.
It's definitely not T. Higgins. Cornerback Higgins. Jay Higgins. I'm guessing Jay Higgins.
He's a quarterback?
Corner.
Oh, corner. Oh, Jay Higgins.
Jay
okay.
Higgins.
I mean, the coaches, I haven't heard too much from the coaches on him, but I mean, he does I have seen him make some plays in practice. Okay. I have written his name down. That's why I was trying to rack my brain, because I'm I know
when you got a bunch, I ain't gonna lie. That's one thing I when I used to cover. It's hard. When I used to cover
right now.
Yeah, it's the corner. It's the corner.
He's the line. I thought he was a linebacker.
No, linebacker. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Linebacker. I'm tripping. It's the linebacker. 49. I'm tripping. It's 49. The linebacker. Did he have a pick? I think he had a pick or something. Did he have an interception? I think interception.
I believe so. In the foot.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Heather. It's hard to remember all the names when you're covering in training camp. Because again, not to be mean, but some of these, some of these guys are obviously fighting for a spot, and some of these guys won't make the team. So it's hard to kind of want to focus on all of them, right? You know what I mean? It's hard. There's so many names. Because you're for you, Carita, you've kind of already you got used to the 53 or the 55, whatever it is, that you had to deal with last year, right? Or the returning players. And also you got a lump sum of new players. So it's I
mean, there's 90. That's why we don't go in the locker room at the season, because there's 90 guys right now.
That's what there's 90. Yeah.
But number. I do, I have written his name down before. I just don't recall him coming up as far as right now, but that's not to say anything is an issue. It's more so just there's so many guys right now, and so sometimes the questions just don't end up being on a certain person.
Facts.
But that doesn't mean that they're not doing well.
Yeah. I mean, I
can tell you this: he's not doing bad, or else I would know that.
That's true. It's almost how people look. I always say, in my opinion, if you talk about an offensive lineman a lot, 9 times out of 10 they playing bad. If you talk about a cornerback a lot, if you mention them all the time, 9 times they're not doing well. When you don't talk about a cornerback, or you don't talk about an offensive lineman, that means they're doing their job. I'm a firm believer in that, because those are the positions you don't really pay attention to in terms of something, unless something bad goes on. You know what I mean? So same with a linebacker. If you ain't talking about the linebacker. And if you ain't talking about him thoroughly, if you're talking about him thoroughly, that means he's one thing. He's either spectacular or he's trash. That's the truth. Won't even lie to you. Hey, Carita, I appreciate you being on. You always give us great insight, great information. I feel folks, full disclosure, I'm not a Ravens fan, but Carita kind of makes me a Ravens fan, because she kind of gives me all the tea. But before we end the show, can you let folks know how they can catch you on social media, how they can catch your content? Also, let's make sure you plug in your other outlet. So plug it all.
Yes. So you can follow me at Carita C. Parks on social media. You can also follow at Bowie TV Sports, who I cover the Ravens for. And then outside of your Ravens, I also am the owner and founder of Double Take Sports. We cover NBA, WNBA, a little NFL. Right now, we're doing some golf. We have one of our reporters out at the BMW Championship
Fire.
today and tomorrow, and then I'll be out there this weekend, so you can catch that contact. So anyway, there's a lot of great content on Double Take Sports at dbltakesports.com. Wait, sorry, it's dbltakesports.com.
Yeah.
DBL Take Sports on social media.
Awesome. You guys, like, there you go. So you already know. So make sure you check her out on all these platforms. She's everywhere. I mean, you really can't miss her because she's kind of like everywhere. You know what I mean? You can't miss her.
I definitely feel like I'm everywhere these days.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for pulling up with us. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports saying for ages. Ayedig deuces. We are out. Peace.
Swag.